What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Ethan's Exotic Escapades. Today I'm going to be setting up this new aquarium for my girlfriend Caitlin for Valentine's Day. She's going to be getting a betta fish. So I'm going to show y'all what you need to do whenever you're setting up a tank for your betta fish. First, I'm going to start off by showing y'all what stuff you need. But before I start off with that, make sure you like and subscribe to join the tribe. All right, let's get started. So first off, I have this Aquatic Nano heater. This will make sure that the temperature stays at a 78-degree temperature. So this is really good, and this is what you need for a betta fish. The other things that we got is this aquarium substrate. So I'm going to show you all what you need to do before you put this in your tank. Then we have a thermometer here. Then this will actually float in the tank. So got that. We got, of course, we have the filter with a reusable pad in here that we can rinse out whenever it needs to be cleaned. Then we have a top right here that has a working light. And then we have prime and stability. So this prime right here is what you need if you have water that has chlorine in it. This will remove the chlorine from the water and make it safe for your fish. So this is needed. And it has the directions on the bottle, of course, of how to use it. So this is for whenever you're setting up a new tank. And since this is a 5-gallon tank, it says we have to use 5 milliliters, which is the cap per 10 US gallons. So we're actually going to use half of the cap in here. And this is to make sure we go ahead and set up our biofilter. That's basically what this is for. So, and then this, y'all are probably thinking, what is this that looks like poop? Well, actually, it actually kind of is. This is reverse osmosis water, or poop water. This is going to help set up our tank and make sure that it has the beneficial bacteria whenever we set it up. So we're actually going to have to wait 2 weeks after we have the tank set up and let it run, and then we can test the water and make sure that it's good for her new betta. So, but I'm not going to do that yet. The first thing I'm going to do is actually go ahead and wash this sand. Or I say wash it, I'm really just rinsing it. So I have this bowl right here that I'm going to use to put the sand in, and then we'll rinse it out. All right, here I am at the sink. I'm going to go ahead and open up this bag of sand, and I'm just going to pour it in here. Good. All right, got all the sand in there. Now I'm just going to turn on the water a little bit and make sure I go ahead and get the sand wet. All right, and then it's always good to get your hands in there. Oh, we got a little bit of sand out, but it's always good to get your sand in there and rinse it out. Really, this is a little bit too small of a bowl right here to have the sand in. So I would definitely recommend getting a bigger bowl, but we don't have a bigger bowl than this. So. And this also will help with getting the sand to stay at the bottom more at the beginning instead of, going everywhere whenever we get it put in there. So I'm gonna put some more water in here and rinse this out. And then I will meet y'all whenever I'm done rinsing the sand. All right, now I have the sand rinsed. I rinsed it 5 times. And this can help with your water getting kind of, it'll make the water more clear if you wash the sand before you put it in there, and it'll make it easier to pick up. And it's always a good idea to wash the sand just to make sure that it is clean. And whenever I say wash sand, I'm not talking about putting soap in it. Do not put soap in the sand. Just rinse it with water. And I'll meet y'all over at the tank. All right, here I am at the tank now, and I'm gonna go ahead and start scraping the sand up in here. Making sure I get as much of it out of this bowl that I can. All right, that's good enough. Now I'm going to go ahead and press this sand down. Spread it out as evenly as I can. Whenever I put the water in here, it is going to mess up the sand a little bit, so I'm going to have to put my hand back in here, of course, and smooth the sand out a lot more, just to make sure that it is good. And the tank is not gonna look good at first because we're putting that nasty water in here to help with the beneficial bacteria, which is really, that's essential when you're setting up a new tank. So, all right, now I'm gonna go ahead and start filling up the water and show you how I do that. All right, I've got my jug right here. This holds like about a gallon of water. So I'm gonna fill this jug up, a gallon. It's gonna take me a couple of times before I can fill it up. Well, it'll take me 5 times because it's 5 gallons. So I'm gonna have to fill that up. Before I start putting the water in there, I'm gonna put this prime in here, which will remove the chlorine and make the water safe for the fish. And on here it says to do 2 drops per gallon of water. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right, I've got it open now, and I'm gonna do the 2 drops. 1, 2. You've got to be really slow whenever you're pressing on the bottle because you don't want to put too much of that in there. All right, now I'm going to fill this up with the water. And I will see y'all when it's done. Okay, got the jug full. Now I'm going to go over to the tank and pour it in. All right, now this is gonna mess up the sand a little bit, but that's okay. I can fix the sand at the very end and it'll be fine. All right, got 1 gallon in. Now all I have to do is fill this up 4 more times. So I'm gonna save y'all I know that would be so entertaining for y'all to watch me fill this jug up each time, but I'm not gonna make y'all watch that. So I'll see y'all back here in a second. All right, I just put the filter in there and I'm gonna plug it up and see if it is gonna work. Yep. All right. Now, I'm gonna put the heater in here. So before I can actually turn this heater on, I have to let it sit in here to get acclimated to the water temperature that it is right now before I can turn it on. So I'm just gonna, well, I guess I can do this for right now. I'm gonna set the heater over here on this other side. So I've gotta let this sit in here for about 15 to 20 minutes. And I can go ahead and put this yummy water in the tank, which is gonna make it look really bad for a little bit. But I'll show y'all, I'll give some updates in the middle of this week and then show y'all next week. Yummy. That will actually clear up here in 2 weeks. And then we've got this right here, and I'll just put this in last. So I'll meet y'all here. Actually, I'm actually not done. There's one more thing I need to put in here. So I'm gonna actually go get that real quick. All right, I'm back now. I had a little bit of a malfunction with this filter here, but I've got it fixed now and it's good. I just had to open it up and unclog it because I think as soon as I poured this special poop water in here, it clogged up the filter. So I went ahead and unclogged it and now it's doing good. So now all I have to do is put this stability in and then plug in this heater. So got the stability right here. You need to shake before you use this and of course the prime. And for this, since this is a 5-gallon tank, I have to do half of whatever it's asking because this is supposed to do, let's see what the directions say, 5 milliliters for each 10 US gallons. This is not a 10-gallon tank, this is a 5-gallon tank. So I'm gonna need to do half of what it's asking for, which is, so the cap is 5 milliliters. So I just need to do half of this cap. All right, got the top open and I'm going to pour this in. It's okay if you do a little bit more than that, but you just can't do too much. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this back. All right, yeah, that should be good. So got the stability, and now putting that into the tank, and this will help with the biofilter. And now that we've got this done, we've definitely had the heater in here now for at least 15 minutes. So I can go ahead and plug in this heater. All right, got the heater plugged in now. And then we can put the last thing in here for right now, which is our thermometer, which this will float at the top. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in, and there we go, got it inside. And so I can check this thermometer later to make sure that our heater is working. All right, now I'm just gonna put this top on. Our tank here, got the cord coming out there. All right, good. I'm gonna have to get a power strip later so that I can plug this in too. So we'll have everything plugged in. But got the top on. The light does work, but I mean, there's no point in turning the light on now because it's just it's just brown and green and poopy looking. So now all I have to do is let this sit for 2 weeks to make sure that it's, of course, clear, and then we can test the water to make sure that it's all good. So I'm gonna leave it here for now, and I will see y'all later. All right, so it's only been 1 day, and you can already see how clear it's already gotten in just 1 day. You can see some of the stuff that we had to pour in here from the poop water that's down here, but that's okay. All I'm gonna have to do is just stir it up, and it'll make it look a little bit dirty again, but it'll refilter through all that again. So I'm back now. I got a plastic knife that I'm just gonna stir it up with and get this stuff that's all settled at the bottom and just mix it all back up. And as you can see, now it is dirty once again. But you'll just have to continue to do this until everything is almost 100% gone. I will have to continue to do this throughout the week, but I'll meet y'all again when hopefully it's really clear. So I'm probably gonna check back in on Friday. All right, so it's about to be at the end of the week. It's Thursday night right now. So tomorrow we're gonna be taking a water sample from this and actually taking it to Aquatic Planet so that Todd can test it for us, because I don't have a testing kit. So, but you can see how clear it actually is in just a week. And the week isn't even completely over yet, but just a week, how clean it is. So, or how clear it is now. So I'll be taking that tomorrow, but I just wanted to show y'all the progress of this tank. So. All right, now we're gonna get our water sample to take to Aquatic Planet. All right, this should be more than enough for him to test. Just brought the water here to Todd. He's gonna test it for us.
Okay, so it's testing your water and your water quality is super important for your aquarium. I kind of describe it kind of like if you were living in a bathroom, which is like a small aquarium, and somebody had like a toxic gas inside there, we would succumb and die pretty quickly compared to if that same amount of toxic gas were spread out through the house. And so what causes toxic gas is, and which makes the ammonia, is going to be a dead fish that's left in the tank, dead plants that are left in the tank, all kinds of, the number one is probably all kinds of excess fish food that was not eaten. That's a huge problem. Then fish poop if you don't vacuum. So I've heard so many people say, oh, I don't have to clean my tank. I'm gonna get they actually will even say allergy eater. And they think that a sucker fish is gonna eat the poop. No fish eat poop. So water quality is so important, and one of the number one things you have to do is vacuum the tank, but you also have to do water changes. And so how do we know when we need to do a water change? Well, we use a kit and we have to test the water. The most accurate tests are these. Now you can do pH test strips, ammonia test strips, but they're not as accurate. To me, I like just making sure that I got it right. You really only need about this much water, just about 2 ounces. You don't need a lot of water. So like this is way more than I needed. This is fine. People bring this in. Sometimes people bring me a whole gallon. but they just don't know. One of the most important things is this little mini turkey baster. You get this in the baby medicine aisle in like a Walgreens or a CVS, and these are so important. They take out a lot of the frustration. And so I'm going to test 4 things today. We're going to test pH, ammonia, those are the 2 most important ones, and then nitrate and nitrite. Nitrate and nitrite communicate different things to me, but these are all important. The nitrate and nitrite I don't test as often because nitrate and nitrite kind of indicate whether or not your tank has been cycled. So what does it mean for a tank to be cycled? If a tank is cycled, it has like maximum beneficial bacteria layers in your tank. And so if you put your finger inside and touch the glass on the inside of your tank, it should feel slimy. What you're touching and crushing and killing are hundreds of beneficial microscopic bacteria that are good. What do those beneficial bacteria do? They break down the fish poop. They eat and attack bad bacteria. So when you cycle your tank, you're cycling your tank to allow your beneficial bacteria to build up an army, so that when the fish poop and let out bad bacteria, that good bacteria is going to come and fight it, encapsulate it, cover it, kill it, break it down to where it's not going to be producing ammonia. So if your tank smells like methane and kind of like, kind of stinky like eggs and like poopy a little bit, then that's not right. Your tank should smell like dirt, kind of like earth, kind of like the lake. If you pull a piece of wood out of a lake and smell it, it should smell earthy. And that's how my filters smell, unless you let your filters get too stinky or too old. So anyways, these kits are really important. They are all gonna work with the same amount of drops and stuff like this. I really like Fritz better because I like Fritz's other products a little bit better. So this is the one that I use a lot. Okay, so the first thing is we have to throw the water in there. So I've had a sample of an aquarium that's been running for a couple of days, and you're gonna fill it up to the white line, which it takes a couple of these. That's on the white line. I'm gonna go ahead and put my ammonia in there. The ammonia on any kit I've ever seen, I give it a little bit of a shake, is 8 drops per bottle. So they're real easy. It says bottle 1, add 8 drops. So it's really easy. Seven, 8. And then I take everything out and then I put it back in here so I know what I've done as I'm going through. Now I need to do 8 of this one. 1, 2, 3. One of the drops went on the outside. Just in case you guys were counting and you want to get after me. And then you need to take the lid, put the lid on it, and then shake it up, and then we're gonna wait 5 minutes. And so I'll usually set it out in front of my customer. This is ammonia, and I'm gonna set it there. We want this to stay as yellow as possible. If it gets green, then that means we have ammonia. And there are a couple of things on here that are important. 0 is like perfect. 0.25 is very common, so that's what I normally test out. It's like yellow, but it has a green tinge to it. 0.50 is kind of like a yellow light, so you want to be cautious. It probably means you need to vacuum your aquarium, do a cleaning. If you're at 1, that's toxic, and that can kill the fish over time. 2 is more toxic. 4 is pretty bad. If you're getting it that dark, then that's pretty bad, and if you get it darker, then you desperately need to vacuum, you need to do a big water change, like a 50% water change. So we're gonna wait for that. That takes 5 minutes. 3 of these take 5 minutes and 1 is immediate. So we're gonna do nitrate now. Nitrate is a 10 drop solution, so I gotta put the water in there first. Here's my turkey baster. Baste, baste, baste. These save you so much time and frustration if you do that. So I'm gonna put, these are 10 drops. I use bottle 1 and 10 drops. Nitrates are going to tell me about what's going on. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's going to tell me about the kind of microscopic or not microscopic material floating around in the tank. So if your tank is really dirty and stuff, then your nitrates might be really high. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or if you've put in poop water, which is water that I will squeeze out of one of my good sponges out of a tank that has no disease in it. That's a really quick way to cycle your tank. And so a lot of times if you put poop water in, you might get a reading that might be above 5.0 parts per million. And so we're gonna set this in front of there. We don't want it to get red. We want it to stay, we want it to be slightly orange, like a 5.0 is really good. But if it goes up higher, it might just be because I know for a fact that this tank had poop water added to it. It's decomposed poop out of a fish tank that's been sucked up into the sponge filter. The beneficial bacteria has broken it down, and now it smells like dirt. It's like really good stuff. That is a really quick way to cycle your tank on steroids. It like gives it a huge boost. You're putting organic material that is loaded with beneficial bacteria in your tank that way. Okay, so now we're gonna do, we'll do pH last, so we're gonna do nitrite. Nitrite is another indicator in the tank about toxicity. And so this one is just 5 drops. So it says nitrite, add 5 drops. It's so easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in my store, I do water consultations. So when I test the water, what the people are gaining from me is my knowledge. So when I see what the results are, then I have a good insight into how healthy that tank is. So we're gonna set the nitrite right in front of there. I used to have to test like 22, 23 items, like on a full saltwater kit when I worked for Sea Shepherd Dive and Ocean Quest. So I was a instructor trainer for Sea Shepherd Dive and Ocean Quest when I lived in Thailand, and I was a dive master and propagated coral nurseries, kind of tried to repair the coral reefs that were being torn up due to humans. The last one is pH. So I shake, I always give it a little bit of a shake. This is 3 drops and this one is immediate. 1, 2, 3. And I can usually tell like this is gonna be pretty good. It might be a 6.8, might be a 7.0. I can tell just by the color that's in that right now. Actually, it might be a 6.6, we'll see. But it takes a while for pH to come up. It doesn't come up just in a couple days. Yeah, this is gonna be about probably a 6.6, I'll bet you. So this one I can take, yep, 6.6. The color here matches this one right here. And I just hold it up. You gotta make sure the shadows don't get in the way. And so this is at 6.6, which just is pretty good. This tank was just set up recently, so you need to give the crushed coral that I add into these tanks. So I give people some of this. This is African cichlid mix. This is black and white crushed coral. And it's in the sand form because they put sand in this aquarium, I think you guys did. And so it takes a while for the calcium carbonate in the crushed coral to come in contact with the acid in the tank so it can buffer it and remove it. pH has to do with hydrogen atoms in the water. So if your pH is really acidic, I'm pretty sure the way I remember it is has a lot of hydrogen atoms. Most fish like 6.8, 7.0, 7.2. That's where you want to land. So somewhere in between 6.8 to 7.2. You want to be somewhere in that section right there for pH. All right, so we should have a pretty decent reading on these things now. So your pH is 6.6. I'm not alarmed at that one bit, but I want to check this probably in 1 week later and see how much it's come up for. So I'm not going to add more after it's only been cycling for what, like 3 days? 2 or 3 days?
A week.
A week now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't want to add more yet because I want to give it a little bit more time because it might come up naturally. It's harder to bring it down. Okay, ammonia, perfect. It's absolutely 0 parts per million. And that's because they have no fish in there yet. So, and it's just had poop water added and stability and I think dechlorinator. So this is perfect, really, really good. It's had a 0 parts per million. This one, now it's been pretty close to probably 3 or 4 minutes. Normally it's going to start turning purple almost immediately if it's going to change color. So I think the nitrites are very good. They're perfect. They're at a 0. And we want the nitrates to be slightly orange, and it looks slightly orange. So this looks really good. So you guys can see that if you're cycling your tank, you want your using that beneficial bacteria in the form of the poop water which is just like I gave them essentially a bag of brown powdered poop, fish poop in a bag, and they poured it in there. It seems crazy to do that, but I do it with every one of my tanks every single time. Just have to make sure that tank has no disease in it. So based on what I see here, this aquarium is ready for fish. So when you add fish, you only want to add 2 or 3 starting off. That's if it's a bigger tank, like a 10 or a 20 gallon. You only want to add 2 or 3 starting off. Don't fill the tank up with fish. Let the fish and the beneficial bacteria kind of react to each other and kind of build up that foundation. That's about it. That's done a quick water test, and I've kind of given you the big pointers. The most important one is the ammonia. This is the most dangerous. If this turns out green, this is bad news. The ammonia will burn the gills of the fish. The fish will either go to, if it's bright green, the fish are going to be at the top of the aquarium kind of gulping air, or if it's really bad, they're going to sit at the bottom and they're just going to have labored breathing and their mouth's going to be going quickly. So this is the most important one, the ammonia. Number 2 is the pH. pH will creep up on a tank. So you really do want to check your pH and get your pH up to like a 6.8, 7.0, 7.2. If you're doing African cichlids, you want to be 7.6 up to like an 8.4, somewhere around there, 8.2, something like that. So that's about it. This tank is ready to go.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
And Todd hooked me up with this filter because my filter, for some reason, it keeps stopping. I don't know why. The propeller on it keeps on getting stuck. I tried to fix it, but it's not working. But I couldn't figure out how to fix it, so he's hooking me up with this brand new filter. So we'll put this in whenever we get back. Also wanted to say that her beta fish is actually already here, and he's holding it for us. And we're gonna go ahead and go take a look at him. Let's go see. This is Caitlin's beta fish that she's gonna get. He's holding it for us until our water's ready. It's very beautiful. This is a koi half moon beta. Okay, so now it's been a couple more days. I have installed a new filter, which you can see how good it works. It was super easy to assemble. The only thing I had to do was put on the little piece at the bottom and then just plug it in. That was it. Today's the day. Got to test this water one more time. But after that, we'll be coming home with probably a beta fish. All right, got my water tested again, and it's looking good. So we've got the beta fish in hand, and we'll be taking them back. Okay, we just got back, and I've got the beta fish right here. He needs to sit and acclimate into the tank for about like 20 to 30 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this. Actually, there's a surprise that I haven't told you all about. I got a bristlenose pleco to put in there with it, and I also got this snail right here. So I'm gonna be acclimating this also. Just gonna set this bag in here and let this float. And now I can show y'all the beta. There he is. He's very pretty. Well, we'll be able to see him a lot better whenever I actually open up the bag, but I'm gonna go ahead and set this guy in here and let him acclimate too. And then one more thing I got, which these, I don't have to acclimate these. These are 2 plants. These are Java ferns that I'm gonna be putting in there. We also got this, which I went ahead and cleaned earlier, so it's ready to go. I'm gonna drop this in before we let these fish out. I'm gonna set it closer to the back here, like this. This should be good. Before I can drop these plants in there, I actually need to put on these weights, which he gave me some weights that I can wrap around them and then drop them. So I'm going to put 2 around each. And then after I have these weights in, I can just go ahead and drop them right in. This one I'm thinking can go like right here, which these will probably be moved, I'm sure, by the beta fish or the pleco. Now I'm going to probably drop this one in the back here. Just like that. And then we've also got these. This is what we're going to use to feed the beta, and also we can use this to feed that pleco. Then we got this for whenever we leave for an extended period of time, so that we can just drop one of these in there and it'll be good for up to 7 days actually, so that's pretty good. I'm pretty sure it has been 25 or 30 minutes and our fish will be ready to go in. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and dump this water out. We're gonna do the pleco and the snail first. Okay. All right, got the pleco in and the snail. Looks like the snail is trying to go right into that hut. All right, now we're gonna let out the beta fish. All right, there we go. Got the beta fish in. Let me fix this plant really quick. All right, there we go. And we've already named the beta fish. His name is Finn. The pleco's name is Jake. And the snail is Gary. Which you have to name the snail Gary. I mean, there's no other name for a snail. You have to just name it Gary. But you can see him up here, and then you can see the pleco down there at the very back. He's just doing a moonwalk. Oh! Finn is definitely happy with his new home. Oh, he went into his hiding hole. All right, now I can put the lid on top. I used some duct tape right here. Made sure to tape it on both sides so that it's not sticky on the inside. And right here, because this guy is an escape artist. He somehow ended up in the tank right beside him at Aquatic Planet. So we're just gonna be extra careful and have tape so that it can't get out, because there was a little hole right here where the old filter was, but now we have a bigger filter, so it needs the bigger opening. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on top and turn the light on. He's hiding up in there. He really likes his new hut. I decided to record him swimming around because he is very, very social. He's definitely not camera shy. All right, we're gonna try and feed him. I don't know if he's gonna eat, but we're gonna see. Put a little bit in there. All right, that should be good. Oh. Oh. Keeps on spitting it out. Getting it and spitting it out. Oh, looks like he's breaking it down. Looks like he likes some of that. So I guess he was hungry. Oh, there he goes after another little piece. Wow, that's awesome. This dude is definitely a feisty boy. Let's see if Caitlin likes what she got for Valentine's Day. Awesome. All right, that's gonna do it for today. If you're watching this on Valentine's Day, happy Valentine's Day. Just want you to know that you are loved, and thank you for joining me on this exotic escapade. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe to join the tribe, and I'll see you on the next one.